So hello and very welcome to another edition of the Slip Cordon. I'm Peter Boyd and I'm glad to say I'm joined this evening by Fintan McAllister from Malahide. Fintan, you're very welcome to the show.
Thanks a million for having us here, Peter, anyway.
Fintan, we had you on a little earlier before the start of the season talking about the return to play and the protocols and what have you. Unfortunately, not such good news to have you on this weekend. First and foremost, how are you? How's the knee?
Yeah, no, the knee is grand there now. You know, it's just crutches and a brace for a couple of weeks or whatever, and got an X-ray on it and stuff like that as well. So they actually said there's no break in it, so just have to wait till the swelling goes down on the knee, and then kind of I get checked for the ligaments and see where I stand with them, I suppose.
Yeah, it's probably great news, obviously, with no break, and we'll keep our fingers crossed with the ligaments and what's going on there. It's not something that we expect to hear when we're around the other grounds of what happened with dislocation of your knee. How did it happen, or can you remember what happened that weekend?
Yeah, it was weird. Now it was just we were playing against North County, obviously, and it was a great game as well. And just came down the track to try and hit the ball, and my stud just got caught in the ground. The next thing, I just felt like the bit of a kind of a twist there in the knee, and next thing I just remember just looking up at the sky, and I just couldn't move my leg. And then then an ambulance came on the cricket pitch, which is a bit mortifying now, but. It was a bit more fine there for that, but like the people in North County were fantastic. Like, you know, they're a great club there, and they were full of support and just getting things in place, and obviously people from Malahide as well as and getting in touch and that, you know, and actually even just the people, the clubs around Leinster, just the people around the cricket community are great. I don't think you'd actually see it in any other sport. Just, you know, the like text messages and kind of get well soon. Obviously, it was kind of a bit of a freak accident in cricket, but I just think the cricket community is just brilliant. Like, all the clubs around just sending on their messages of support and that's so it was great to see. Like,
yeah, it's definitely something we don't expect to see. You know, like you say, it's something maybe from other sports or a bit of football or hurling or Gaelic or whatever. You might see it more regularly. Unfortunately, that's the case. And but really, the response from the whole cricket community has been amazing. And the outpouring of kind of support, because nobody obviously wants to see anything like that happen.
Yeah, that was it was like, that's what I just think, the cricket community, you know, just I think there must have been a message there from nearly definitely a person in every single club across Leinster. They were just, geez, they were great, and I just think it's brilliant. It's brilliant the way that happens. I don't think it would happen in any other sport like that. So, and that goes for, I suppose, all the grades on cricket, and same if it happened to whatever anyone else, and in the youth game and the women's game would be the same. It's great to see that kind of support for people and stuff. So it was great.
Yeah, and one person I will mention that as we talk about that was I was out at Terranure and Railway Union myself on Saturday, and I did bump into Kieran Divney who was there. He was on crutches himself. He's just about 10 days over a cruciate operation himself. So wish him well while we're talking about injuries as well.
Divo, yeah, great man. Yeah, wish him well. He's a great lad, Divo.
So, like I say, on to other things. On the field, obviously, you were on your way elsewhere. The decision was made, kind of amongst the team to end the game after you had left, and North County winning by DLS. You were saying it was a cracking game, really building up to some finish, but 24 runs, I think, off about 8 deliveries was the equation at the time. It probably is it right to say maybe it was the right decision to call it at that stage?
Yeah, I think it was just, I suppose, I couldn't be moved out in the field, so we were actually waiting around for a while. It was probably about an hour, and I think things got to the stage, and they just said, look, we'll kind of call it through Duckworth Lewis. But I think we might have fallen short anyway. North County obviously still had Eddie Richardson there at the ball and stuff like that, who would have been for needing any more than a few runs off him or whatever. You know, it's going to be tough. So we might have came up short in the end anyway. But they just came to the decision to go to Duckworth Lewis, and North County ended up coming out the winners of that.
And it's been interesting, you know. We talked when we had you on the show at the start of the season. We talked about kind of participation and getting people involved in cricket this summer, and it all been the joy of just playing at all. But it's funny going around the grounds and talking to people. There's been a lot of attention paid to who's at the top of the groups, who's been doing well, and who's going to qualify for the semi-finals out of the Senior League Cup.
Yeah, and it is. It's great. It's like, I mean, I think once people are playing a sport, you know, it brings out their competitive side, and I don't think anyone is taking the competition lightly. You know, everyone's going out there to win, and especially with their probably being, you know, overseas professional, it's a lot more youngsters getting a go on this season more than ever, and yeah, it's been great to watch the clubs battle it out.
And of course, your own club, you're in the Hills this weekend, and with 4 sides, with three victories and 1 defeat so far this season, you know, they've kind of become again must wins if you want to qualify for those playoff fixtures at the end of the season.
Yeah, yeah, big time now. We're coming up against the Hills. Hills a great club, so we know it's going to be a tough battle out there. But if we can get there, I think there's four teams in our group that are all sitting on three wins. So I think there's going to be any win for any club is going to make big changes in that league. So it'll probably be a tight game, but we'll see how we can come over the line and see.
Yeah, there's plenty of tight games coming up this weekend, as there was. Looking back last weekend, I've done our best to kind of scour the results and the stats to pick up a few people just to give a shout out to. Kind of standout performance in the Senior League Cup was Jamie Grassy. Scored 98 at Phoenix beating Rush.
Oh yeah, no, big time. No, geez, Jamie is. I've known Jamie since he was a kid. He's always been an explosive batter. Like if he, you know, if you don't get him early, he can really destroy a team there, or destroy bowling with the way he bats. He's explosive and he's powerful and he's a big lad and he's strong and he clears the ropes and you know and I heard it was a great knock on the weekend. So fair play to him.
Yeah, and of course he left North County there before this season. But one fella I want to maybe ask your opinion on and what you think of is young Luke Whelan, who's taken over the gloves there with North County. I saw him at the start of the season against Balbriggan, and he looks a real prospect, even for a young guy. He took some great catches that day. Yeah,
no, Luke. Again, Luke he's come up through the U program there in Leinster and stuff like that as well, and. Yeah, I've known Luke since he was probably about 8 or 9 as well, and seeing him progress, he's a fantastic kid, like, and he's only going to get better as the years go along, and yeah, he's a great addition to North County there, and he's got, like, you know, he's got a great work ethic, and I know he's a brilliant Gaelic player as well. So overall, he's a great sportsman, and yeah, he's a great find for North County.
Is someone that they'll be looking to bring along with them as well. And someone else I just noticed is looking through the batting figures at the weekend, someone from your own twos there, Adam Doyle, got 61 not out, and you know there's plenty of talent within your own club there that you're trying to bring through as well.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, Michael Hinkson is development officer in Malahide there now, and he's doing great things, and he's bringing these lads through. And yeah, Adam Doyle has come on leaps and bounds. Him and his brother Aaron as well. The two lads. I think Aaron got a 60 odd there for Leinster as well, 15 Interpro. And the two lads, the family there, they just live and breathe cricket. You know, they're down the club every day practicing with there's a rake of them down there. They're just down there every day, just practicing in nets and stuff like that. And yeah, no, it's great.
I wonder where they got that impression from. You know, there's wouldn't be a McAllister that was down there doing likewise now.
A long time ago, maybe. Long time, yeah.
yeah. Just someone to look up to and give them a bit of an example and a role model as well. Just one final name that I do have to draw attention to for Wicklow County's seconds at the weekend. The best bowling figure so far this season: 5 wickets for 5 runs. Tias Sridharan took 5 wickets for 5 runs. So definitely deserving of a shout out this week.
Jeez, big time, yeah. Just never mind this season. That could be up there with the all-time stats, I'd say there.
So that's definitely worth a shout out here on the Slip Cordon. Listen, it's been a real pleasure Fintan, thanks a million for joining us on the show. I know it's been a rough couple of days, I'm sure, trying to get your head around what happened at the weekend. But very best of luck. We'll have our fingers crossed that nothing too serious comes out of the scans and things over the next week or so. And very best of luck from everyone. Thanks very much for joining us on the Slip.
Listen, thanks a million, Peter, and thanks to everyone for all the messages of support and Leinster and all. I really appreciate it. So thanks everyone.